The 15th season of the Highline Racing League has had every up and down we could possibly ask for, but when we come down to Fontana, California for the first race at Auto Club since the opener for season 14, only 4 drivers have a chance to come home with the crowning achievement, a championship here in the Services and Supply season finale. Qualifying underway at Auto Club Speedway one more time this season. Your playoff drivers have been whittled down to 4, and right now Alan Kunman, who is one of which, tops the qualifying charts. And now it's going to be Scott Zellner, top of the board. Drivers still filing in. This is the most intense session in all of qualifying this season as drivers go up and down the order one last time to establish dominance in track position. It's going to be an intense race, that is for certain. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast along the way. Name's David Kreutz. Great to have you here. If you've tuned in every race so far, or if you're tuning in for the first time, you're still in for a great race here. It's going to be 100 laps, 200 miles, and a day-to-night event. We will be hitting the night circuit here in the Auto Club Speedway. Gonna go through the sunset in the early stages, and that will lead us down to the lights, not the sunlight, as we come home to the checkered flag for the final race of the season. Gonna be Kenny Brooks down and in this time by the number 54 machine. Gonna be 13th in qualifying. Chad Winstead makes himself present in the top 5. He'll be 4th on the board right now, only about 0.2 of a second off of DJ Stagner. As it stands, highest position for any driver in your final 4 in qualifying is position number 6. So all the drivers in the final 4 are outside the top 5 at the moment, last of which going to be Dylan Clark, the only driver without a time lap at the moment. Number 5 machine has not put one down, so we'll see whether or not he has time to. It's going to be Chad Winstead with a hard dive to pit road. Then we've got James McKee in the 12th spot, not too far behind. He's only 1 spot back on Scott Wheeler. And your drivers who are indicated in orange tonight will be championship contenders. So it is only 4 of which in the opportunity zone to get it done. Eligible for a championship, the highest finisher in terms of position will get the title, and that will be it. All drivers come in level on points, and it will be down to their final finish of the season to see who comes home with the title in their hand. Going to be Adam Bossia right now, waiting to get this one over with. Looks like his qualifying run is done. So with that in mind, let's get your starting grid for tonight's event on your screen. Bossia, one of the better drivers all season long, regular season runner-up, but as it stands, the driver in the number 27 not able to make it past the first round of the playoffs. Just couldn't make it happen in the playoffs, but nonetheless, a driver to look out for in the 16th season as we roll on to yet another after tonight. But here is the final grid of the season. We've got over 20 drivers looking to do battle one more time, and it all comes down to this. So with that in mind, and without further ado, let's get down to your starting grid for tonight's event, the Services and Supplies season finale here in Fontana. Gonna be DJ Stagner, top man on the board in that number 64 with a 40.426, and right next to him gonna be Ryan Potter, second spot with a 40.479. Position number 3 gonna be Scott Zellner with a 45.08, and then 1/10 of a second back on him, it's Chad Winstead with a 40.620. Top 4 separated by, I believe, the highest margin in an overall season long, 0.2 of a second. Then Terry Brooks going to be 6/1000 of a second behind and lay in the 5th spot inside row 3 with a 40.626. And Alan Kunman, the highest man in scoring position for a qualifying run at the championship. He'll find himself there. Alan Kunman, 6th spot, 40.642 over his teammate Kendall Kerr. And the number 21 machine is a 40.651 in position number 7. Then it's going to be Corey Blevins, position number 8 with a 40.669. 9th spot going to be Brad Kress with a 40.676. And Adam Bossia rounds out the final top 10 of the season here in qualifying. Adam Bossia makes it home with a 40.684. 11th spot going to be Dylan Petit with a 47.07. And right beside him going to be Scott Wheeler, your defending champion, with a 40.754. Defending runner-up going to be James McKee with a 40.765. He's been the most dominant man all season long. He would love to wrap this one off in winning fashion. A 4-time winner this season. Gonna be Tyler Rush in 14th with a 40.779, and then gonna be Kenny Brooks only 1,000th behind him with a 40.780. Ty Smith getting position number 18, and Connor Holden gonna be in 17th, and it looks like the 18 machine up to 16th as Caleb Morrissey drops down just within the top 20, a 40.947 for the man in that number 6. Roberto Ramirez gonna have a 42 machine put in 19th, 41.009 for him right there on row 10. Outside row 10 gonna be Andrew Baker with a 41.383, and then the final man on the grid, it's gonna be Dylan Clark in the number 5 machine, your final championship contender to round out your field, 21st and last. And that will be your starting grid for tonight's event, the Services and Supply season finale. And as the drivers get on their way, Roberto Ramirez is going to be the last of which, and just like that, pit road is empty. And when they come back around, it's going to be for the final waving of the green flag. Up in front, DJ Stagner leads the way. He's not had the success he'd like to have in this season so far, but he is a champion on FTN, the Monday Night Integrity Ignite Series, the inaugural champion in that league. A phenomenal drive by him at Charlotte to win the title by over just 2 points. And he's a clutch driver. He knows what it's about to get a win when it matters the most. So the Carvana number 64 will hang tight one more time as we get ready for one more opportunity to come home with the checker. Right up top, going to be Ryan Potter. Potter looking for his first win all season. Had a lot of strength very early in the running, but he has not been as good as he'd like to be after the first few races. The shake-up on the leaderboard. New drivers up in front looking to get their first victory. Veterans mixed throughout the field as well. One more pace lap, and it looks like Dylan Clark is not with us just yet. Clark in the number 5 machine, not on your starting lineup here. It turns out the number 5 machine simply not in frame, and I don't know what that's going to mean. One lap down, he is scored as one down already. And it looks like now he's there. He'll be starting from pit road when this race begins. Number 5 machine has spawned onto the circuit, so he's going to be starting way back in the field, but not one lap down. It looks like the extra time going to be taken to make sure your championship contender, the final one of which, will be able to start the race on a somewhat level footing. Let's get right into this one. Chat room already active. River Page in chat, thank you for stopping by. And Page knows a thing or two about championship battles here in this league. He was the one who broadcasted the Texacon Truck Series and their finale at Fontana just over a month ago. But now the big dogs get ready to fight one more time. Let's see if their bark means something when it comes to their bite. This is one last opportunity, and every driver who knows this will have to act upon it. Stagner, what a way it would be to get his first win this season, returning to racing here, a former champion trying to reclaim his winning ways. Ryan Potter going to be up top of the number 99 machine for Allegiant. He is trying to make it happen for his first win in this league as a rookie, going on one final win. And Scott Zellner looking for his 13th, and is still an overall career high for any driver when it comes to their victories. He wants to make this the Baker's dozen race. He's been solid all season that we've seen him, and now the storylines come to bat once again. Down to the inside line, the pace car drops, and the green flag will wave for the first time here in the season finale. Let's get it going one more time around in Fontana, California. And just like that, first lap led for DJ Stagner as we get this thing underway here in the season finale. It looks like Connor Holden disconnected on our grid, so he's not here with us. However, Dylan Clark is. Clark 16 seconds back, very far off the pack, but he's got a ways to go until the championship battle is over. If there's a yellow flag, he'll group up with the field again, and he'll be in a better position than where he would be if he stayed in his qualifying spot. He has gained one position off a technicality, but still last of those who are driving. So nonetheless, Stagner leads the way. They're mostly single file up in front, but the mid-pack is coming to the form. Look at the sun beaming off of the Corey Blevins machine. That number 13, bright as can be. And Blevins put together a phenomenal race at Bristol. It would have locked him into the Final Four if he was just a bit better in the first round. He's had a sort of renaissance in this series. He was a championship contender the first round, fell out of favor, but then won in a dominating fashion against drivers like Casey Heschel at Bristol. Got very close to another good run at Kansas, but either way, the 13 machine might be one of the up-and-coming stars to keep an eye out for. He got his first career win and was able to rattle off under the pressure of the playoffs, so he might be one of the more clutch drivers to keep an eye out for as the season 16 becomes even closer in the minds of each and every driver and us at FTN as well. Stagner has himself a lead, and he's got a good one, leading by just a tenth of a second over Ryan Potter. The sun is blinding these drivers right now, but it's due to set, and the remainder of the race will be ran under the nighttime sky. No stage breaks. We will go all the way battling just to the checkered flag. The reason is, championship battle is all but over. You don't need extra playoff points to build an advantage. Finishing position will do. And looking further on, Alan Kuhlman right now leads the championship battle, number 8 machine. Kuhlman holds his head up high, and Alan told me at the beginning of the season, I didn't quite believe him, this will be a part-time effort, not looking for a championship. And yet, he's now the man leading the title battle 5 laps in to the final race of the season. It has been a fantastic one for Kuhlman. Always a consistent driver. Right now, not going to take a rest. He is still battling as hard as he can, trying to make a few spots up and build that track position, because guys like Scott Wheeler are coming out the woodwork. It's going to be James McKean 13th right now, 2 spots behind, but Wheeler, your defending champion, dominant last season with the Next Gens being their first time in the Highline Racing League last season. He was the one who best adapted, and since that point, he has been one of the best consistently, but a bit of a different tone for the man in that number 97 this season, not as overtly dominant as he was when the season got on its way in season 14. He has been a very consistent contender, but not chasing down victories in the same form. Nonetheless, his consistency carried him here, doing a very good job right now in that number 97 and working his way down the order. It's going to be the man in the 99 who leads the way right now, Ryan Potter, on a roll. Some love for QCR in the chat. Great to have you aboard. A vacation in Florida, but nonetheless still watching with us. I'll tell you what, looks like I'm going to be out of state for the next few days as well, so looking forward to that on my end. Certainly a great experience to kick off the summer. Fantastic race tonight. Now going to get on my way in the real world tomorrow, but here's 7 laps in. Ryan Potter's gone on his way. He's about 4/10 of a second up in front of Kendall Kerr, and DJ Stagner right now is running in 3rd. So single file they all are right now. It looks like Dylan Clark has maintained a solid distance, 17 seconds back. He is even on the footing of the majority of the field, but that isn't a good thing the way these guys are racing so clean up front. Ryan Potter leads the way. Kendall Kerr going to be in 2nd. DJ Stagner going to be in 3rd. Then you see Scott Zellner, Terry Brooks, Chad Winstead, and Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman leads the championship battle by only 2 positions. The only cushion in his way right now is Corey Blevins. Blevins finds himself in the middle of both the number 8 machine and the number 97. But Alan's going to get a hard run off the backstretch this time by. He's going to try to use it to get up to Chad Winstead, and that he does. Winstead, he'll barely be able to get by. We look on the onboard perspective. He's got an edge, although it is not major. Looks like the number 8 machine now going to be on his way. Heads up driving from Alan Kuhlman so far, and he's going to find himself now in position number 6, leading the championship battle 8 laps in, closer and closer to the conclusion every lap matters. And Alan Kuhlman running in the high line, most drivers are not going that far up. Even in this frame alone, Zellner down low, Brooks was more in the middle, and even Chad Winstead was. Kuhlman is making the high line work, and shades of his dominating victory in the Daytona Night race at Darlington. He led all but 10 laps, I believe, that night. He was phenomenal, and when the sun was setting, that number 8 machine took off like a jet from pole position to victory lane. Of course, the number 8 machine, as we mentioned, just needs to beat 3 drivers tonight. He does not have to beat the field in order to win this title, but he'd sure love to come home a winner again. A 2-time winner this season, Pocono and Darlington. Pocono Raceway, his most recent victory since then. He's just cruised off what he's got from the earlier portion of the season, as they're going to go 3 wide, almost right behind him. Scott Wheeler now going to be in a bit of a log jam. Number 13 machine right down low. Wheeler now going to take it high as he tries to work with Chad Winstead to get away from this pack. Winstead going to stay there in 7th, but Alan Kuhlman now slicing and dicing it up for 3rd. He gets by Stagner, and he looks to be the fastest man on the track, effortlessly making it by competitor after competitor. Now Kuhlman is on a roll, and his championship contemporaries are all chasing him. The challengers want a piece of this pie. Alan Kuhlman being the man who leads them to it. How about this number 8 machine now going to be fighting for the number 3 spot again with DJ Stagner, and looking on back, it is still Scott Wheeler in 9th. The distance between them very small, 7/10 of a second for your championship lead, but the 97.0s, that's a lot of drivers in between. From 3rd to 9th, a lot of very, very good drivers. And with such a level talent group here in this league, it's going to take an awful lot to get it done for that number 97, who finds himself way back in the pack compared to where he'd like to be. Alan Kuhlman now goes down to the inside line to take in the 2nd spot, looking to get that runner-up position. Alan Kuhlman makes his way in, and now the number 8 machine for Flow Racing has gone with the flow to a great position. He's only got his teammate, Kendall Kerr, right down low. Kuhlman going to drop down to the inside line, got a bit bobbled off that turn, and they're going to make contact. Stagner gets really shot off the track, and just like that, it goes from 0 to 0. DJ Stagner gonna fade to the back of the field. Oh boy, this is getting contentious. Stagner now finds himself alone on the circuit. Instant replay here at FTN. I can't believe this one. And the number 8 machine, who was leading the title battle, finds himself in trouble. Kuhlman, tapped by Ryan Potter, tries to keep it together, comes up the track. Stagner's passing him, and it looks like Kuhlman dives up, thinks he's clear, and the 64 goes for a wild ride. As a result, Stagner only ahead of 1 driver right now on the lead lap. That's Dylan Clark. And I don't believe the 64 got much damage, but nonetheless, take a look back live. He's going to be way off of the pace. 64 machine out of the race for now, at the very least. 13 laps in, Ryan Potter now going to be battling with Kendall Kerr, as Potter going to go down to the inside line and side draft him at the stripe again. And just when we thought Alan Kuhlman had it working real well, he fades back to 9th, and now Scott Wheeler has the advantage. Number 97 machine going to be in the 5th spot at the moment, chasing down Corey Blevins, who now finds himself in 3rd. Number 13 machine works off the backstretch once again. One man going to be in the wall. That's going to be a big hit. Middle of the field going on back, and it looks to be the number 72 who gets by. That was DJ Stagner. No, Andrew Baker. Baker in the wall that time by number 43 machine keeps it going. And as he comes across the screen of the wide shot, he is far out of place. 14 laps in, he'll have to waddle that thing in. Suspension is destroyed. That might just be his night, and that might just be his season. Baker's in, Ryan Potter still leads, and Kendall Kerr going to be there in 2nd. Now, Scott Wheeler down low finds himself advantageous, but look who's coming back. Alan Kuhlman now going to be the next man to the inside line to chase down the number 97. Scott Wheeler going for a back-to-back champion run. It would be phenomenal for the quick lane 97 to end up in victory lane again, but now he just has to hold on ahead of the 8, the 9, and the 5. Number 97 comes up with the rest of the pack, and 15 laps in, all stays the same, all stays clean. Kendall Kerr leads the way still. Ryan Potter continues the battle up down low in the number 99. Corey Blevins, as we mentioned before, has turned himself into a much consistent, much more consistent, much cleaner driver. And that number 13 machine now finds himself in third on pace. He has been very solid so far, and the number 13 machine does not have anything to lose. He's chasing a championship, chasing the checkered flag on his lonesome, and now he's going to dive down low once again to make it stick. I think he's got a shot here for the second that he does, but Adam Bozzi now makes it in. Bozzi's in the picture after a few laps of drifting away. It looks like now the number 27 machine might be able to shake up the competition as well. Working the way into 1 and 2 once again. Number 21 leads the way. He finds himself there with clean air and clean skies ahead. Sun is setting even further now. The drivers get a bit more visibility back. It's much brighter through 1 and 2. Then you go down the back and see it's a bit shadier. Then we return once again to the sunshine. Here is the most visibility on any portion of the track right now. You got a lot more room to see it, and it looks like as the sun continues to set, the entire track going to look the same way. Blooming off the number 13 machine, the sun is shining, and the 13 is as well. He leads that lap, and now Corey Blevins finds himself out in front as they've gone back and forth all night long. Scott Wheeler now going to find himself in the 5th spot, leading the championship battle, but now Alan Kuhlman only about a car length or 2 behind that time through. Back stretch, they come roaring. Now Kuhlman going to lose some momentum, and it looks like he'll slot right back in. His teammate in the number 9 machine, and James McKee, another championship contender who is right in front of the caution, will be called for Corey Blevins. Your leader goes around, and just like that, your first yellow in this race has been called at lap 18. Let's find out just what happened. And Corey Blevins, the man who was leading this race out in front, had a solid gap to the rest of the field. Had himself a clean exit once again, and it looks like Kendall Kerr running to the backstop of his vehicle. He's got himself on the rear bumper and turns them. Shades of Stagger and Kuhlman, and then Blevins comes up the track. He does not hit anyone immediately, and it looks like the majority of the field gets away. 13 is good to go. 19 laps in, he has minor damage on the tire, if anything, and the 13 now going to find himself in 17th. Blevins in the back of the field. Adam Bozzi, your leader. 19 laps have gone by just like that. And Kendall Kerr finds himself in second. Scott Wheeler leads your championship battle with Scott Zellner 4th, Ryan Potter 5th, and Dylan Petit in 6th. It's going to be Caleb Morrissey position number 7, and then going to be Alan Kuhlman in 8th, with Brad Crest 9th and Chad Winstead in 10th. Going to be finally then looking back on the field, it looks like Dylan Clark is with the leaders again. He's going to find himself in 19th as we get things going once more here in Fontana. The services and supply season finale far from over. We're just getting started, and down to pit road they come. Lap 20. It's going to be the pit road race that might decide the rest of this one. Clean racing we've seen for the most part, but now this one might determine it. Down low, Kendall Kerr going to make it in as well. Every driver filing into the pit stall. The race on pit road begins for the first time of the night. Adding the moves now, going to be 4 tires and some fuel for all these drivers as they work their way in. DJ Stagger going to be one of the final guys to go through as he was wrecked earlier on in this run. Going to be side by side. It looks like Kendall Kerr barely beats out Bozzi. Then going to be Scott Zellner, Ryan Potter, Dylan Petit, Caleb Morrissey, Alan Kuhlman, Scott Wheeler, Brad Crest, and James McKee to round out that top 10. So Alan Kuhlman regains the title lead after your first yellow. How about this one? Number 8 machine finds himself now once again leading the championship race. Kendall Kerr leads them overall in the number 21. Adam Bozzi stays runner-up there in second. Zellner going to be third. Ryan Potter is going to be fourth. And Dylan Petit now there in the 5th spot. Sun is setting here in Auto Club, and 20 laps in, many drivers have had their chance up in front, many of which have had to go by the 21 machine in Kendall Kerr to make it happen for a chance to lead a lap. 21 machine still finds himself out in front. He was up there with his teammates, but it looks like now he'll find himself alone inside the top 5. James McKee going to be in 10th right now, and McKee, one of the big stories coming into tonight. He's rattled off victory after victory coming into this event. As a matter of fact, came home victorious once again as we went to Atlanta before this race in Auto Club. He'll go down low this time by as they come to the stripe for one more lap of pacing. Connor Holden retired for the night, it appears. Andrew Baker 6 laps down as it stands. Field is now finding its final few drivers. Attrition might be in the play for the season finale here, and it looks like we've got just about 80 laps remaining. 21 laps in, it is Kendall Kerr leading, Adam Bozzi there in second who's succeeding, and the double file grouping shows that we're going to be good to go once again. Still all 4 championship contenders in for a good shot to get added. Dylan Clark will be on the lead lap with the pack once again. He's got to dig deep to make this one work. And for that number 5 machine, Orpak once again on their way. And Orpak signing Dylan Clark in the karting scene for the rest of the 2023 season. But tonight, he's got to make it happen in the virtual NASCAR Cup Series machines. Whether or not he makes it happen is up to him. He's got himself a big disadvantage heading into this one. He's got a lot of positions to claw back, but Kendall Kerr is in the perfect position to come home a winner one more time in the Highline Racing League. Season 15 gonna all come down to this one, and we will have our first restart of the night. As we come back down to the green flag once again, the 21 and 27 lead the way, and we are back on our way with the first race of the night here in Auto Club. And it's a solid jump out in front for Kendall Kerr, who holds on the first spot. Rest of the field still going to be contending. The sun looks to be down in all portions of the track. Nighttime will lead to different conditions, and every minute that passes by, the track temperature, it gets cooler. The drivers will have to adapt and change the way they run this circuit. Alan Kuhlman back up to the middle groove as it's going to be side by side for the top spot in the championship order. And James McKee there as well. Bozzi goes right into the middle. Big spin. He hits Wheeler, and just like that, the second caution flies. Adam Bozzi makes contact with a championship contender, and he went around alone on that one. Instant replay. What an incident. That time by the 27 loses it from the third spot, and up front it has been chaos. Let's take a look in slow motion. 27 was certainly slow off the corner, tries to correct it, overcorrects it, and goes back and forth. Wheeler gets the short end of the stick, damage on the front end, and James McKee almost gets as unlucky. That is a heartbreaker for multiple drivers in one spin. Bozzi goes around, second yellow, and just like that, the caution flies once again. Big time hit. Bozzi's night and season might be done, and Scott Wheeler is going to be in a lot of trouble if he wants to continue contending for this championship. Brad Kress down low. Wheeler stays out. He looks to be good to go. And now we've got ourselves another yellow flag and another change in the picture. Dylan Clark only makes up about a spot or two on that run, but it looks like Alan Kuhlman gets away the best. He was on the higher side of that incident, got himself up top, so when Bozzi split the middle, he'd hit the bottom side instead. Now going to be a bit of a track position advantage, and it looks like recovering well after that earlier incident. The number 8 machine finds itself out in front of the championship rivals in Wheeler, McKee, and Clark. James McKee got close to some contact as well. When everyone checked up, looks like he could have spun out, able to keep himself steady, keep the wheel straight, and he'll be good to go. No change in his fate. Up in front, though, Scott Zellner leads. Got a better jump that time by on Kendall Kerr. We went less than a lap under green that time around, so lap number 27 might be when we go green, and Wheeler just disconnected. That might be it. Scott Wheeler now appears to be down and out, and I'm not sure why that is the case. He's off our scoring. Looks like he's back again, but it looks like the internet now gonna go against him as well. Wheeler in a bit of trouble that time, blinks out for a moment, but it'll be good to keep on driving. Thankfully, back on his way. Scott Zellner leads the way overall with Kendall Kerr in second and Dylan Petit in third. Caleb Morrissey going to be fourth, and Alan Kuhlman going to be in fifth. Scott Wheeler position number 6 and James McKee in 7th as we get going once again here in Auto Club. Lap 25, the quarter of the way mark has already been reached, and we have already seen 2 yellow flags, and it looks like we've seen a bit more action than anticipated, especially on that very short second run. One down to pit road again, and Bosley's going to be that man, and it's going to be 2 men who go up high, Zellner and Kendall Kerr. Dylan Petit dives down low, looking for some more track position with Caleb Morrissey up top, Alan Kuhlman up high as well, and it looks like Wheeler will go down low and make up a few spots while he's at it. Just like that, the choose rule comes into play again, and now we've got ourselves a shift in the championship lead, effectively 25 laps in, quarter of the way around. It is Wheeler who finds himself out in front. Doesn't mean much just yet, but those could be the few positions that make all the difference. That was a close call for Wheeler. He's still racing, but he might have some damage to keep an eye on. Let's get a close-up drone shot on that number 97. Looks like it's not as crunched up as we thought, so he might just have a chance to keep it at full power with the rest of the race still in mind. Lap number 26 will come back to the green flag 1 lap earlier than anticipated, and Dylan Petit will be the man who leads the way down low in that number 31. Zellner right up top with him, one of the 4 horsemen leading the way, the second of which in position terminology, it's a 97. 3 of the 4 horsemen in the top 5 going back to Caleb Morrissey. Once again, domination in teams, and it looks like Dylan Petit's gonna have to fend off the juggernauts as we head down to the green flag for the second restart of the night. Let's get back at it once again here on Auto Club. You're gonna be the 31 number 2 who lead us back to the green flag once again. And Scott Zellner gets a similar jump to what Kendall Kerr got last time by. Scott Wheeler leads the championship running even still. It looks like that gamble paid off, at least for the short term, as he still has the power to keep it going. He has his teammate beside him right as well. Going to be the number 6 machine playing defender on 2 drivers at once. Now, Alan Kuhlman having to work up top, very far up high again. It looks like the high side has been his biggest friend all throughout the night, but Caleb Morrissey right there with them, trying to make it stick. Now going to be Wheeler going right down low on Kendall Kerr, and these 2 former championship rivals from last season. It did not pan out for Kendall Kerr, but the 97 still is going at it, and they've had their fair share of incidents, most recently at Kansas, which led to a green-white checkered that was not anticipated throughout the entirety of the night. Up in front, Scott Zellner has himself the lead. Going to be Dylan Petit, who falls back to the 2nd spot. Then in 3rd, it's Kendall Kerr. Dylan Body and chat as well, keeping an eye on what's going on here. 27 through, we've got ourselves a bit of an issue. Ty Smith, Dylan Clark, it's a wreck involving one of your championship contenders, and the number 5 is beat up bad. Let's find out what happened. The rookie, the number 5, gets some big time damage battling in the back of the field, and it looks like Caleb Morrissey goes around as well. 2 wrecks in 1 lap. Let's find out what happened. Now the number 5 down low, worked his way up top, hit Ty Smith. Smith comes right back into him, shoots the number 5 down the alley and puts him in the wall. That is a destroyed 5. The front end almost comes off, then comes right back on. Dylan Clark destroyed. That may be his championship run. Nonetheless, Caleb Morrissey comes up the track, hits James McKee, and another championship contender collected. And just like that, half of our championship hopefuls are involved in a wreck. James McKee, I believe, got lucky. He got tagged, but it'll be good to keep on driving. As we take a look at the back end, it looks like he'll be fine. Dylan Clark most certainly is not. 28 laps in, multiple wrecks within the same time frame, and Dylan Petit leads the way all the same. Another driver involved in an incident, and now that leads Alan Kuhlman. Actually, it doesn't. All four drivers have had an incident at their championship contenders tonight. Alan Kuhlman had the first of which, then it was the man in the 97 who got involved in your second yellow, and both the drivers in number 9 and the number 5 led to that third caution on the night. Going to be Dylan Clark coming down to pit road. His situation is far less hopeful than Jason McKee. That might be the season in its entirety for the rookie who won 2 races this season. It just has not played out the right way in Auto Club. Missed the start, then gets involved with a final few spot wreck, and that's going to be the season if he does not get back out on the track. Repairing damage already, but it's going to be a long shot for that number 5 as the 97 of Scott Wheeler leads the way in the championship battle in 4th. Dylan Petit leads this race in 1st with Scott Zellner 2nd and Kendall Kerr 3rd. Third of the way through, we almost are here in the services and supply season finale. This is your 3rd caution of the race. We're on pace for a 9 caution event the way things have gone. Average length of each run seems to be about the 8 lap range, and it looks like we might keep that going, but nonetheless, the field size has slightly dwindled down. Connor Holm is retired. Brad Kress is not connected to our timing and scoring standings. That might be the season for him. Kress fading back will officially verify whether or not he's still racing. His 29 is on pit road, so he might be good to keep on going. One official retiree, Andrew Baker, 8 laps down, far out of contention, and Ty Smith 1 down as well. Dylan Clark, Morrissey, Bozzi all on pit road, and they are due to be put 1 lap down. However, Bozzi does make it out just before. He'll be good to go as lap number 30, we head to it this time by up top. Dylan Petit gonna take it. He's got Scott Zellner right there with him. Kendall Kerr goes down low. He'll start in the front row once again. We'll come back green at lap number 31 with the number 31 machine leading, and we should be good to get at it one more time. 2 of your championship contenders going to be siding side by side indeed. They'll be siding up against each other, of course. Different sides of the story. James McKee going to be following this championship contending teammate as well. The 8 and the 9 both looking to win this title for themselves, and I'm certain despite the fact they are teammates, they will be driving for their own interest. It's going to be all about outthinking the other driver, and right now, just making it to the end without a wreck. 30 laps in, and only 71 laps remaining this season. Dylan Petit finds himself there in 1st. Kendall Kerr is still there in 2nd, with Scott Wheeler in a 3rd. Any final thoughts? They might have had him already. It's been go, go, go all night long. Scott Wheeler, though, might have to think about it a bit more. The defending champion he would be if he goes back-to-back again for season 16. He's had himself a good night so far, keeping himself out of harm's way for the most part and getting a bit lucky in the most recent incident he was involved in. Now, with the track position, he might be able to stand a chance. 3rd restart of the night, this time through. Pace car dives in once again, and the 31 machine leads us down to lap number 31. Let's get it back going here in Fontana for the 3rd restart of the night. Dylan Petit leads the way, going to be side by side with Kendall Kerr. So Kendall Kerr going to be the thorn in his side. Once again, looking for the top spot. He'll be down low. Most of your field stays up high. Alan Kuhlman now going to be just a few spots back on Wheeler. Scott Wheeler stays tucked in with his teammate as the number 9 machine goes down low with his own. The 8 and the 9 find themselves 6th and 7th respectively. Terry Brooks gets shaken off of the final corner. He stays in the power. No incident there, and now we've got your top 3 championship contenders 5th, and then they were 6th and 7th. James McKee gets broken off of it, and now the number 8 machine is sent to hound down that number 97. It's a Ford on Chevy battle for the championship right now, and it looks to be a Toyota on Chevy battle for the overall lead. Dylan Petit has it for now, but Kendall Kerr certainly wants it. The Blacktop Racing boys looking for a title and the race win in separate drivers. Kendall Kerr goes up high once again, shades of his teammate and Alan Kuhlman as he tries to make something different work, and it does work to keep him intact, at least for now. Zellner and Wheeler The Scots are out in front, and they're going to keep themselves intact. Not going to get passed by Kuhlman that time around. Allen stays in the top 5 with James McKee there in 6th. Third of the way through this time around. The number 8 machine now goes down low, looking for a title victory. Down and in. Allen Kuhlman makes it, and my oh my, he's got a shot to fake him out. It looks like he'll not take it. A slide job in the final laps might be the game plan. It would be incredible, but it looks like right now function over trying to be flashy is the way to go. Just got to make that pass, and he's got a very close shot that time around. Allen Kuhlman with a strong run as we ride on board. Zellner right there in front of both of them. Scott Wheeler still staying on that bumper. He'll dive down low. He needs a buffer in between, and it looks like he'll take it. Allen Kuhlman, though, going to dive a bit lower, get out of the way of that number 2 machine, and he'll try to clear him overall, but it looks like it will not be feasible as they make their way up top. 34 laps through, and now that number 8 machine is blocked by the teammate of 97, James McKee, having no more trouble getting by Chad Winstead. The trouble is in getting that gap back to the number 8. Now Wheeler finds himself in the 3rd spot, chasing down 2nd. He's got something in store for these drivers, that is for certain, and it looks like he's not going to let off until the job is done, and he gets out in front. Now the 31 machine of Dylan Petit leads the way. Kendall Kerr getting in 2nd, and right down with them, it's going to be now Jason McKee going with Corey Blevins to the inside line, trying to make a new groove work here in California. Zellner goes right up high. He'll take Kuhlman with them, and he'll take James McKee too. Scott Wheeler doing his own thing right now, trying to find out what the best is to make a pass for the lead, or at least for 2nd. But now it's going to be Allen down low once again. Looks like Kuhlman's got a shot to make it by the number 2 machine, and he's going to be dead even off a corner, not able to make that pass happen. He will have to stay on the inside, side drafting to turns 1 and 2, not able to clear, but still very near. He's going to stay right behind. As we speak of being right behind, Scott Wheeler has decided he's had enough, and Allen Kuhlman goes down for the inside line pass. He tries to make it 3. It looks like he does not make it happen. That could have been real close for the number 8 machine, about the closest he has been to making that pass all night long. Very close, maybe too close for comfort, and now James McKee tries to slide down to claim the 2nd spot in the title battle. Wheeler loves to see this. 2 drivers in a championship race as well, battling side by side. That's a distraction for one another, and it looks like the 97 is going to be able to flourish with that in mind. Now Kendall Kerr goes up high, and it looks like Wheeler's got a better shot to take that runner-up spot and run away. Dylan Clark going to be 8 laps down. It's looking to be a dire situation for the number 5 machine, who ran such a great rookie season. The veterans are out in front, and it looks like they've got a better chance to come home as the champions. Out in front, it's Wheeler keeping that lead, just barely in the title hunt. Now Allen Kuhlman dives low. Allen Kuhlman is going to go for it, and he will be able to take him side by side. Does he get that spot off a corner exit? Looks like it's going to be a close call, but no, it looks like Zellner gets the draft instead. He'll have to tuck in real close to number 8 machine, side by side for the championship lead out of corner number 4. Now going into 1 and 2, he'll send it in deep once again. Wheeler has no choice but to stay in his own line. It's going to be a battle for the ages if that number 8 machine gets one good run off a corner exit, but it's simply too challenging to do. The momentum on the top side carries these drivers with more speed and more of that acceleration, and that big acceleration factor will keep the number 97 out in front no matter how hard the 8 tries. Without a mistake, it looks like Wheeler might be good to go all the way. Dylan Petit leads the way, and he's looking for a maiden victory this season in his own right. The number 31 best finish on the year. It's a 2nd place at Michigan to Roberto Ramirez. Ramirez right now running in 10th, way on back. Rest of your field spread out big as the sun continues to set. The nighttime sky comes into its own, and right now Bozzy in the wall. He's out the zone as now Corey Blevins finds himself looking a bit further in. Chad Winston going to be able to try to cross over the 13 machine as Kuhlman dives high. He says to himself, if you can't go low, try something new, and that's what he's going to do. Gets pinched that time by. He's got a good run though, and he's pushing that number 2 all the way to the corner. Coming out of corner number 1, we'll find out whether or not this works for the 8, but he's real aggressive now. He's got himself in the middle, and he slingshots by 2 drivers at once. He's got a good chance to go, and that he does. Alan Kuhlman to the point, and it looks like Scott Wheeler's going to be able to rubber band it right back. That was the closest the number 8 machine's been all night long, and now he's ahead, crucially, of Scott Zellner. Zellner can hold on no more. The number 9 machine is in frame as well. It could be the number 9 who gets through in the same way. Alan Kuhlman knew what he wanted out of that machine. His Chevy Camaro is looking for that number 97, and he is fierce. Now he's got his own teammate as a block in his own right, and it looks like it's going to be the number 97 who's defended by the 21. Now Blacktop Racing is a bit of a strategic advantage. Alan Kuhlman knows his teammate is in front of both him and his biggest adversary as James McKee takes it 3 wide to try to make up spots. He only looks to lose to almost 2 drivers. He'll lose to the number 13, not to the 99, and he will regroup once again. Alan Kuhlman stays half a lane higher that time by. Wheeler's a bit squiggly that time through though. This could be the run he needs. Side by side for the lead for both the overall race and almost a championship. Now Dylan Petit finds himself out in front. Kendall Kerr going to be in second, and Scott Zellner's there in third. Alan Kuhlman effectively has the championship lead because Scott Wheeler has just blinked out. We'll see whether or not he recovers. It looks like he has. Wheeler is back in play, but the 97 almost disappeared from our screens for good. He's still good to go though, and now it's like Zellner gets Kuhlman, or does he? Alan dives low once again, looking to get back into that spot. This has been a cat and mouse battle all race long. 42 laps in, and these two cannot get enough. The 97 still finds himself the leader of the championship battle. Dylan Petit holds his head up high as the Kendall Kerr machine finds itself only a tenth of a second away from taking that lead. Diving low, once again, that's the game plan for the 21. Kendall Kerr makes his way in, nice and smooth, looking to take that lead. He's got a shot to do so, and it looks like he will take it. Kendall Kerr now going to be there in the lead, and down the back, Dylan Petit goes for it once again. Very small pack up in front, and these are a few that have the chance to go all the way. 4 championship contenders coming in tonight. Dylan Clark has disconnected. 3 remain, and they are all inside your top 10. They're all inside the top 8 right now as Ryan Potter and Chad Winstead are battling James McKee. It is Alan Kuhlman still trying to work his way past that number 2 machine of Scott Zellner. Zellner played defense very well so far, and 44 laps in, he has been almost unpassable for that number 8 and his Flow Racing machine. Ryan Potter dives down low, minor issue, who keep on going nonetheless, and the number 2 is still playing as well as he can as Scott Wheeler now goes down low, trying to take that second spot from Dylan Petit. He's not done looking for spots. He is not content with just a 1 spot gap in between himself and Kuhlman. Now I'll be looking for another, and it looks like Alan Kuhlman takes it up high, and he's got a big run, a huge run. Now the number 8 machine's in contention once again. He's got Dylan Petit and Kendall Kerr up high to work with. He'll take that 4th groove, try to steamline through. They're going to be 3 wide for lead, and it looks like it will be for the championship battle. 4 wide all over, and now they'll stay 3. Alan Kuhlman's got the top line. He's got himself by, and he's got himself by big. That's the move he needed, and he waited as long as he could to get it. Alan Kuhlman leads the championship race, and Scott Wheeler now finds himself on the back foot. Kendall Kerr leads overall. Dylan Petit remains in second, and now he'll dive down to the inside line to take the lead, and he will lead that lap, not by a long shot, but he'll get it just barely. Alan Kuhlman, phenomenal move. Now finds himself leading, and Scott Wheeler's in trouble. Wheeler down the apron, and just like that, it looks like he's fading out of frame. Now the 97 ran off the track, and he finds himself way back now. This is bad news for the number 97 who fought oh so hard. He gets shot off the track, and now in the back of the pack, Kuhlman made all the right moves at the right time, and now is cruising in the 3rd spot first in the title race. Kendall Kerr gets slow. He taps his teammate, and they're going to be 3 wide now, and the number 21 almost jeopardizes that number 8, and just like that, the battle is open once again. Blevins down low. Scott Zellner, a hard shot on the number 8 machine. James McKee, just like that, is now back in it, and so is Wheeler. Mistake-filled lap for every driver, and now the playing field is almost level again. And the action has been non-stop. Every lap, a new driver has a chance to come into the front of the championship field. It looks like one lap the 8 leads, one lap the 97 leads, and one lap could go to 9 the way things are going. That number 9 machine getting real close to making it happen. Not close enough right now. He'll be 3 wide with both Wheeler and Ryan Potters to work their way off the back once again. Now Chad Winstead having a phenomenal run. His final run of the season, of course, in that number 34, looking to get it done in style. He's had himself a brand new look this season from the number 10 machine to the number 34, representing both Valvoline and later in the championship battle, the number 34 for 7-Eleven. And right now he finds himself just in front of that number 8 machine. It looks like there's a shot to go up in front for Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman stays in third. Corey Blevins goes up high. He's got himself a shot to make it happen for position. He does not take it though, and Dylan Petit is beginning to run away. He's got himself a half-second advantage as they're getting bobbly back in the field. Kendall Kerr now defending on both title contenders behind the number 8. Both James McKee and Scott Wheeler trying to get by the 99 at the same time. 49 laps in, or now Ryan Potter goes up high. He's got himself in a bit of trouble that time through. He's going to let Wheeler go, and it looks like James McKee has the power and the momentum to go by for a position as well. Halfway through in more, just over a lap's time, it looks like Dylan Petit has had himself a cakewalk out in front when Kendall Kerr fell down. The 31 kept his head up high and held himself up in the top spot. Chad Winstead going to be the second slot, going to be Alan Kuhlman and Barry in third. Scott Zellner going to be in fourth, and Corey Blevins going to be in fifth, with Kendall Kerr there in spot number 6. Alan Kuhlman has himself a chance to go all the way. Halfway will come this time through, and as a halfway marker for the final time this season in any race, it is Alan Kuhlman who finds himself the championship leader. Running in third is as good as winning the race for him right now in that number 8 machine, and he's got himself a winning shot as he goes down low on Petit, and now it's a shot to take the lead for the halfway run. It's no halfway bonus, but leading the race is all the guarantee he'd need to win the championship. Down low, he's got a shot, doesn't take it. Chad Winstead leads the way with 50 laps to go. Scott Puckett of SB Designs in chat. This is bananas. We've seen so many drivers going for a shot at the lead. It's unbelievable. And the championship battle, only 3 drivers in this main pack are still so close. Phenomenal driving up in front for all these drivers, and they know they've got a shot to go all the way and perhaps make themselves winners one more time. 50 laps remain, and we might see a green flag cycle under the lights here the way things have gone. And that might be in the cards, and I'm sure a guy like the number 8 machine would love to see that happen. Maybe a chance to break away and get the lead. 50 laps to go this time by, and it's going to become 49. Winstead leads from Alan Kuhlman. Dylan Petit going to be side by side with Scott Zellner now. And I tell you what, the number 13 machine of Corey Blevins in the 5th spot. And speaking of the number 13, it appears on our end we are now just about 13 subscribers away from the big 1,000. If you'd love to support the channel, the best way you can is by subscribing to FTN. It is free, and it gives you unlimited access to our chat rooms depending on any broadcast we have. We'd love to have you. So if you want to join the fun here at FTN, subscriptions are the best way to do it. It's always free, and your support is greatly appreciated. Alan Kuhlman up high this time through. The 8 machine goes for it, and now the Flow Racing machine finds itself up in front. The 8 going for the race lead, and that will be all the proof he'd need to get this victory. How about this? 2 of the Blacktop Racing boys out in front, and one of them is carrying the SP colors. That's James McKee right now in 6th. He finds himself right there with the 97 of Scott Wheeler. Wheeler, who's had an up and down race and multiple incidents he's been involved in, still is there in the top 5. And James McKee, who got tagged big by Caleb Morrissey, got very lucky, and thankfully for his sake is still going. Gets a bit squirrely off of corner number 4 once again. He'll have to settle in and settle down if he wants to keep on racing for the victory. Alan coming out in front. Dylan Petit still going to be there in position number 7. Chad Winstead leads the way, but the high side becoming a bit more occupied as drivers like Kuhlman and Zellner try to take it for a bit more momentum down the back. Scott Zellner, the all-time winningest driver in this league, looking to get it done for his 13th win of his career. Now, we were first thinking that it could have been a winless season for the man in this number 2 machine, but he turned on the Jets, won the Coca-Cola 300 in an exhibition event with the Gen 4 machines, which we were expecting to see in season 16, and in addition, on top of that, won the very next day in the very next race at Kansas. He has been phenomenal this season with very little time. He's a part-time driver welcoming the birth of his first child, so not on the sim all season, but nonetheless one of the best in the business, looking to do it once again. Zellner now in striking distance. Alan Kuhlman still going to be there neck and neck, but the number 2 machine with a watchful eye knows he has an opportunity to go and make it big time. The number 2 right there for the taking. 46 laps to go. He gets a good run, but so does Allen, and now it's going to be a 3-way duck fight for the lead. Looking further on back, Corey Blevins maintains that 4th position, and Scott Wheeler stays in 5th with James McKee, position number 6, and Kendall Kerr now fading back to the 7th spot. Chad Winstead leading the way, but only just as Scott Zellner now goes for it, and the Zellner machine has a shot. He does not take it. He'll fade back 1, almost 2, and just like that, the number 2 finds himself on his lonesome with Winstead up top, working himself over and over. Chad Winstead looking for his first win all season long. It will be bittersweet for him to get it here when it matters the most. He has been, as always, a phenomenally consistent driver. 1 career win in this league. It came at Mid-Ohio last season, but this season he's been on the podium more times than we can count, simply not able to make that top step on the podium just yet. But the 34, if there's any chance for him to get it done, he'll have to take it now, as the 34 machine leads the 8 and the 2 side by side. They'll be, and look who's closing in. Wheeler's now in 4th, and James McKee is in 5th. 1 spot separates your top 3 drivers in the championship from being running side by side, and it looks like now the 2 machine might have to let up, as Wheeler now has to be on the aggression. He'll take it down low with McKee just a bit, but Zellner continues the defense, and we saw how well he defended on Alan Kuhlman before Kuhlman made that ingenious 3-wide move up top. Maybe he'll be able to do that again to the number 9 as well. Wheeler tries to go down low. He'll go down low as well as the number 9 machine. They'll try to make it happen, make it stick. Not for position, they won't. And Chad Winstead still leads the way. And Chad Winstead holds his head up high. Leading this one would be a big win for him if he just comes down to that final lap as the leader. Alan Kuhlman, though, takes it down low. He knows that time's all running out. Time, indeed, is slipping away, and it is now the time to charge. But it looks like now both Chad Winstead and Zellner get away clearly on him, and just like that, their top 3 drivers in the championship battle are now right next to each other. James McKee goes down low, looking for the championship lead in his own right. We've got them all next to each other. Now McKee's got the edge. Alan Kuhlman down the back gets it once again. They're door banging the 9-97 touch, and just like that, we're back in full swing. And looking at this number 9 machine, James McKee, he's had to battle through it all. Out of the 3 drivers still up in front in this title race, he qualified the worst of them just within the top 15. So redemption, it could be. He's been the dominant driver all season long for the SB Designs banner, and his sunset scheme fits perfectly with the theme of tonight, a track from the sunlight to the sunset, bringing us phenomenal racing. And James McKee looking to bring home one more phenomenal finish. He finds himself still in 5th. Kuhlman be able to break away, but just slightly. Now Scott Wheeler goes down low once again. He's going to try to lunge it. Shades of Alan Kuhlman all over again. Now the 497 goes down low. Kuhlman, no choice but to stick it up high. It's a lunge. It's a deep one. Does it work? The 8 gets squeezed in the wall. Alan Cummins in the wall, and now it's going to be the number 97 who takes the championship lead. Cummins is in trouble. Scott Wheeler, now in the third spot overall, finds himself out in front of the championship. Ryan Potter down low to pit road, so is Kenny Brooks. Now a green flag cycle is in effect. This is effectively looking to be the final pit stop of the season and the money stop for each and every one of these drivers. McKee now in the back bumper of the 97. Whether or not he chooses to avenge his teammate, we will find out. It's all or nothing for the individual. The way things have gone up and down the running order, Scott Wheeler has made his way back up front in this championship chase. But Jason McKee will make him think twice. Now the number 9 machine goes down low. He's going to try to get into the podium just like that. He's got a shot. He's going to leave the 97 out to dry. Alan Cummins makes his way back in, and Cummins runs the 97 a bit further up the track. Lunges, but it does not work off exit once again. Now James McKee in the number 9, the most dominant driver all season long, finds himself out in front 62 laps in. He's got a shot to go all the way. The lights are bright here in Fontana, and the stakes are as high as they can get. If you're enjoying the action, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe as always. This one's the big one for these drivers, the 15th season in a league jam-packed with history. It's been one season for the history books. We've had road course races dominated. We've had ovals coming down to the wire, short track heat racing, and all the above. And tonight, the playoffs showing what they're made of. The best drivers going all out. It's all or nothing for the number 9, James McKee, who knows that, is driving like he means it. He's got himself there in third, just in front of a championship rival here in Scott Wheeler. Off the back bumper of James McKee. He's going to go down to pit road this time by slowly but surely. All 3 championship contenders do, and they make it in without a hitch. Big lunge from Alan Cummins, and now he finds himself right there with the 9. That's exactly what Cummins had to do. Boy, oh boy, that number 8 machine knows exactly the plays he's got to make. We'll see whether or not that one is calling for a violation. So close. I'm not quite sure what they're going to say. Instant replay on the matter with the number 8 machine. Take a look at how close he was to the danger. And it looks like that number 8 dove it down and drives it in just barely. Side by side, he makes it stick. Big time move. How about that one? Alan Cummins now going to be on his way, and that move will get him back out in front of the championship race. That was a phenomenal, gutsy drive in, and who would have thought that the money stop comes down to pit entry? Cummins leads, and James McKee right there in second in the championship battle. Shelly Babinchak here for Scott Zelman, the Pampers machine, going to be now in the third spot overall, leading those who came off of pit road. Only 2 drivers have not made their stop yet. Kendall Cruz now in, and Caleb Morrissey, who is not. Scott Zellner, with a big gap, has himself in front of Chad Winstead, Alan Cummins as well, and James McKee. That was a phenomenal move from that number 8 machine. Alan Cummins knew exactly what he had to do, and he laid it all out on the line, and it looks like he did it perfectly. No pit road violation calling for that number 8. That is the move you gotta make in the heat of the moment, and the 8 machine knew it, and he acted on his instinct. Phenomenal from that number 8. Nothing more to be said, and now he's just gotta act on what he just did and keep himself out in front of the 9 and the number 97 for just 35 more laps. They're on the same set of tires, so they are on a level playing field. Same fixed setup. The performance is dead even. It's all down to your drivers up in front as they go for a do-or-die battle here in California. Scott Wheeler now a bit further back in 8th. He might be in the worst standing to go all the way. He's got to drive back fiercely for any opportunity to come home on top. Kendall Kerr going to be in 5th right now, side by side with his teammate in James McKee. Cummins might be destined to make this one happen. He's just got to make sure that miracle on pit road is not the final act of this battle. He's still got over 30 laps to complete this one, so he does not have a chance to bow out oh so early. Alan Goodman, as they come off of corner number 4, leads the championship race. Caleb Morrissey running this one long, leads the race overall, but he has not come down to pit road with a 20-second lead over the number 2 of Scott Zellner. He has to come down to pit road sometime soon, but he's leading his final laps of the season, it appears. For the driver in the number 6, who's had a phenomenal season in the next gens, especially compared to season 14, just trying to get some more time out in front and relish in the moment. He won at Talladega, won at Nashville SuperSpeedway as well. He's been a king of those super speedways, even though Nashville isn't necessarily the super speedway we think of when it comes to that format. He's been a winner multiple times over, a great driver through and through. Not able to make it happen in the playoffs though, but he does have a few more laps to get in before he comes down to pit road one last time. Zellner leads now by 0.4 of a second over that number 34, and Alan Kuhlman not too far behind. He's only a second behind your lead overall, and he has a 0.4 of a second gap to Kendall Kerr, and over a 1 second gap to the number 9 of James McKee and Scott Wheeler, all the same. And as the drivers work their way in lap after lap, this is coming down to the wire. Pit road, I can't believe the impact it made on entry compared to the stop itself. Was thinking some guys would go for 2 tires and 4. It looks like that is not the case. And for Alan Kuhlman, in the top 10, only one driver had a faster pit stop, and DJ Stagger had a 44-second flat time on pit road. He was 1/10 of a second faster on his pit box, and that's why he gave himself a 1/10 of a second edge over Kuhlman. Kuhlman had a 44.1 second trip down pit road, 14.4 seconds on pit box, while James McKee spent 44.8 seconds on pit road, and Scott Wheeler spent an abysmal 45.9 seconds on the row. So with that being said, Scott Wheeler lost almost 2 full seconds on pit road, and that could be the margin between himself and the championship lead. If he had the pit stop that Alan Kuhlman did, he'd be out in front with that number 8, but entry meant everything, and that number 8 machine made it all matter. That might have been the most important sequence of events in this race, and he's building a gap on the biggest battle in the pack. It's James McKee out in front, that number 9 machine. It's Corey Blevins right there with him. Scott Wheeler is going to be in 7th. These two are still battling for a championship. Indicated in orange on your ticker, the drivers in orange are still racing strong. Dylan Clark, 19 laps down, is back on the track trying to limp his way home to any final spots. We'll see whether or not he does get anything out of it though. 30 laps to go. This time by, Morrissey still leads. He is hanging on to what he's got and hanging on very, very long. Scott Zellner out in the top spot, keeps himself steady. Chad Winstead ready to keep on battling too, as Alan Kuhlman now finds his teammate right there with him. But James McKee now going to try to go down to the inside line and block many drivers. Ryan Potter tries to make it 3 wide, and that he does. Ryan Potter goes for the dive in. The 99 machine for Allegiant now pledges allegiance to that low line and tries to make a pass. Doesn't work. He is almost sent down to the grass, and Kuhlman stays up in front. He lets his teammate Kendall Kerr go by once again. And now, the gap between your championship contenders is 1.5 seconds between the 8 and the number 9. Your Blacktop Racing teammates are out in front of this title battle, and they'd hope to stay that way. James McKee, who's had a phenomenal season, accounts for 4 wins in the 17 race schedule, and Alan Kuhlman accounts for 2 as well. Between those two drivers, they have run of course every race, but they've won approximately 35% of the races we've won all season long. For any driver, any win, 35% of the time goes down to those two who have been so dominant all season long. And for one final drive in the next gens, it is Caleb Morrissey who still leads effectively, but he's got some time until he comes down to pit road. He's been on his pit run for 44 laps. He went down on an extended wreck, so he's got himself a much different strategy. 14 seconds ahead now, as Scott Zellner is still battling with Chad Chad Winstead for the win. Zellner looking for win number 13. Would love to get it in this season finale. The number 2 machine's been very good at season finales in history before. Of course, you're a season 10 champion, but now while he's not in championship contention, he's still got a shot to come home a winner again. Chad Winstead looking for his first win this season in the final race. A swan song ending if this number 34 gets it done. Kendall Kerr is still there in 4th. Alan Cum not too far behind is effectively in 5th. And Corey Blevins is there in 6th, holding on to both DJ Stagner, Ryan Potter, and now Wheeler and McKee, who are both side by side down the backstretch with 27 laps remaining. And for all that has been said and done, both of these drivers have given it their all. They drove each other as hard as they could early in the going, and when Alan Cummin got involved with DJ Stagner very early on, it seemed like it would be a big-time problem for that number 8, and these two will be able to run away. Wheeler, who had Scott Zellner with him all night long, and still Zellner is up in front, was able to defend very well on that number 8, but when Alan Cummin made it by, and the number 97 was pushed down to the inside line of the track, it seemed like all hope was lost until it wasn't. Cummin ended up in the wall and then ended up in front of them miraculously on pit entry. Just like that, Alan Cummin makes his way back in front of the championship race, and Scott Zellner leads by 0.2 of a second over Chad Winstead with 25 laps to go in the season. The services and supplies season finale has given us a boatload of memories already, and this season, season 15, has been one of the best ones we've seen out of every driver. Caleb Morrissey, 11 seconds ahead of Scott Zellner, is still scored as your leader. He has to make one more pit stop to make it home to the checkered flag. He will eventually find himself down on the row, and it doesn't look like it's anytime soon. The channel lock number 6 has locked it down and found himself with a major gap, and he's only got to hold on for 25 more laps if it is even possible. However, doesn't look to be the way every other driver's raced it. You gotta go for one more stop to get to the checkered. Alan Cummin still in touching distance of a big 4 up in front, but it is Scott Zellner who leads them with 23 laps to go next time by. And these drivers are still pretty far from making the laps happen on their own. Caleb Morrissey that time by loses 1 second on his average lap. He now only has a 9-second advantage, and it looks like this time by it will be the final pit stop for the number 6. Caleb Morrissey makes it into pit road, and he'll dive in on his own, leaving the number 2 to usurp the lead, and the 4 horsemen trading the lead from one member to another. Just like that, Zellner is in frame, and now the number 2 machine leads the way as they officially do come to 23 laps to go. Just like that, the number 2 is out in front, and now the leading battle is officially on. Kendall Kerr dives down low, looks to get the spot, and he looks like he's got a real good shot at it. Zellner's up high, Chad Winstead's going to be there as well, and now Winstead going to fade back in a third with Cummin still tailing them there in 4th. Wheeler and McKee trading places in 8th and 9th, but they've got to pick up the speed to get up there, as with 23 to go, next lap we'll have your final crank it up of the season. 22 to go, and we'll bring you the finest cameras in the iRacing business. Track cams for gourmets at trackcams22.com. Let's crank it up with 22 laps to go, courtesy of Track Cam for Gourmets. And now with only 19 laps remaining on the season, it is Kendall Kerr out in front in that number 21. That was your final Crank It Up of the season, brought to you by Track Cams for Gormans. Their link is in the description for all your iRacing camera needs. Go to trackcams22.com. With that being said, it is the number 21 machine of Kendall Kerr who leads the way, with Scott Zellner not too far behind. Going to be Chad Winstead in third and Alan Kuhlman there in fourth. DJ Stagner's in fifth, and Corey Blevins is in position number 6. Scott Wheeler going to be there in seventh. The top 10 guys are now separated by only just about 3 seconds, going back to Roberto Ramirez in 10th, but it is James McKee and Scott Wheeler who have fallen on hard times in this run. Wheeler in that number 97, who was poised to perhaps become a defending champion, a back-to-back champion all over again, now finds himself far off of Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman finds himself about 2 seconds ahead of that number 8, but now Wheeler trying to reel him back in. That time by was about dead even on pace and was quicker than the two drivers in the middle of both of them, so maybe there is hope and not all is lost in the 97 camp if he keeps up in making that time. Alan Kuhlman simply has to hold on to the draft right now and keep himself ahead of the 97. He's got DJ Stagner right behind him, while Stagner and the number 8 did tangle. I'm sure that number 64 knows there's a lot more on the line than a simple position between them, so I don't think there will be much that happens between them if the 64 gets there for the spot. Kendall Kerr looking for his first win of the season, a maiden victory for him or the 34. It would be a storybook ending for both of their seasons, both early exits in the playoffs, but still looking to be contenders next season. Season 16 going to look very different than this one. Of course, we've seen the next gens for the past 2 seasons, but iRacing adding the Gen 4 machines to their platform has led to a brand new era in iRacing in terms of the driving that we have seen. So the Gen 4s are expected to be the cars of choice when we head back to season 16 very soon. Keep your eyes on the FTN channel, as we will have you up to date with all the information on all our broadcasts and leagues, as many are taking summer vacations, and we will be not doing that. We're going to have as much action as we can all summer long. We've got many new things planned for all our fans of the broadcast and many new partners coming aboard. Kendall Kerr, one of which who looks to keep himself up in front. Scott Zellner now going to be right there with him, and Corey Blevins is now keeping the draft train alive, and look who's now just within it. Scott Wheeler getting closer and closer to the number 13. That time by was just about half a second quicker than Alan Kuhlman, and that might be enough pace to get there at the end of the day. Kuhlman staying back with the number 64. And that miracle beginning to his run might fall apart if the 97 makes it all work out. He'll have to be perfect from this point on, though. The 97 still has 2 seconds to make up, and this time by will be a true metric of how quick he really is relative to the rest of the field. This time by, as they make it 14 laps remaining on the season, Alan Kuhlman records a 41.001. And it's going to be Scott Wheeler who records a 41.078, so he was not quicker that time by compared to Alan Kuhlman. He was, however, quicker than the men up in front, including DJ Stagner. So these two are just about dead even on pace, but that is not enough to make a pass throughout this very stacked field. That's going to be a death sentence for the number 97 if he's not quick enough to make anything happen. James McKee now finds himself there in 8th, not too far behind, and with 14 to go, it's going to be Corey Blevins getting passed by the 97. Now Wheeler is on hot pursuit on his own. Gap between your championship 2, it's going to be the 8 machine, the number 97, separated by a second and a half with 13 laps remaining. 88 laps in, Alan Kuhlman leads the way in the championship battle. Kendall Kerr, his teammate, leads the race overall as they will try to make it by the lap machine. That lap machine being Caleb Morrissey. 13 remaining here on FTN, and Kendall Kerr has held them at bay for the entirety of this run for the moment he got up in front. Scott Zellner ran very well as well, but it just has not been enough to make it happen for the lead, at very least for now. But now Scott Zellner goes down low and even dozen remains, and Zellner goes for the taking. He's got himself a shot to lead, and he will make it happen very strong. 12 laps to go, and it looks like the twos got a chance to go home a winner for the 13th time in his illustrious career. Zellner now going to be out in front. He still has Kendall Kerr right there with him, and DJ Stagner is in tow. That time by Alan Kuhlman, gained just over a tenth of a second on the number 97, so he has good pace to come home with the championship. The way things are going, Alan Kuhlman going to be there in the 5th spot, and it's Scott Wheeler in 6th. One spot separates your championship rivals, and if that 97 makes up that 5th spot, he would be effectively your title leader. It is still a far cry for a pass, though, as the number 97 finds himself in 6th. He still is over a second and a half behind your number 8. Scott Zellner out in front, leads the way, chasing the number 6's back end. It's the 2 of the 4 horsemen up in front, looking to make it happen. Now Morrissey going to be put up high, and it looks like they'll be rid of him if they can make the pass. That time by, though, Morrissey stays up in front of the leading pack as he leads them down with 10 laps to go in the season. It all comes down to the final opportunity to make a win happen here in Auto Club. Zellner leads the way. Kendall Kerr not too far behind there in 2nd. Chad Winstead going to be in 3rd with DJ Stagner there in 4th. Alan Kuhlman, position number 5, still right there in tow, as Scott Wheeler's there in 6th, and Corey Blevins is there in 7th. James McKee, position number 8, not too far behind with Terry Brooks in 9th. Every one of these drivers knows that it all comes down to the final few laps. If a mistake is made here, it could end the season on the wrong note and even lead to a championship-altering yellow flag. Single digits now, 9 laps to go. Scott Zellner keeps himself up in front, but Kendall Kerr has kept him honest. 1/10 of a second separates your top 2 guys. Elaine Coons and Chat rooting for the number 2 machine. Zellner looking for a 2nd Premier Series win of the season. Thinks he's got a shot to take it, and he is not going to fake it. His teammate right there still up in front with them. They have run very well together so far, but it might not be the ending they want if the 21 keeps hounding him the way he has. And Chad Winstead and DJ Stagner, as a matter of fact, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have all not won this season. Scott Zellner and Alan Kuhlman are the only drivers in your top 5 who won a race this season. Zellner with 1 win and Kuhlman with 2. Chad Winstead dives down low for the lead, and he's got himself multiple lanes lower than your championship battle, and he's got himself all the way down low, going for broke. The 34 makes a shot at it, but it does not look like it works. Now, gonna be passed again. Winstead faced the 3rd. Big time move. Alan Kuhlman, the fan support is in, and Kuhlman in the number 8 machine still has to keep on marching. He's got now almost a 2-second lead over Scott Wheeler. He just has to stay intact with this leading pack if he wants to come home a champion at the end of the night. Make it 7 laps to go. This time by could be the lucky number for every driver here, as Zellner keeps himself just in front. Now Kendall Kerr goes up high. The high side has been a saving grace for many drivers tonight. There's so much momentum you can find off it, but it looks like Zellner has that drive off no matter where he goes. The number 2 leads the way, and it shows that he's got something these guys don't, but it's going to be a lunge down low. Kendall Kerr goes for lead once again, and they'll be side by side. Kerr going to try to back off and gently get back on the throttle. He's on the lap pedal once again, going for the lead. He'll go right down low on the track, and Zellner still has him at bay. Now Chad Winstead tries to take a chance at this leader, and he might be able to make it happen. Winstead in the same spot looks to go up high, and it looks like the Alan Kuhlman move might be executed to get a bit more of a drive off, put more on throttle time in play, and there's a chance at the win. Winstead coming down the backstretch is dead even on speed, at the speed of 188 miles an hour down the stretch. They'll get up to speeds of over 195 miles an hour at the best of times. They got up to 193 that time through. Zellner still leading the way. It is only a total of 6 laps to go, and when they come down the line again, there will be only 5 more laps left this season. Zellner up in front, and that number 2 just has to hold on for 10 more miles to win his second race of the season. But Winstead dives down low once again. Chad Winstead's got a drive, and he will take the lead with 5 laps remaining. This could be the maiden win on the season. Season 15 has not been his way all season long, but now the number 2 goes down low to switch it back. Scott Puckett saying a yellow will be the biggest chance for the driver like the number 9. That is the case, and if they get a yellow flag from any point in this race except the white flag on, it would be an overtime finish, and those will be the final laps of the season no matter what. Only 1 overtime attempt allowed per race. Adam Bozzi fades back on pace that time by the 27 is still good to go. It's Zellner up high. Now it's going to be Winstead up high again. 4 laps remaining, and Zellner takes back the lead the same way Winstead got it a time before. Now Kenny Brooks in frame. 2 lap machines who have led this pack all night long are still there. Alan Kuhlman has laid back quietly and keeps himself up in front of the field. Of course, besides the 4 who battle for the win. Scott Wheeler still 2 seconds away from the championship victory. If he makes that pass, it's his. And James McKee is still in touching distance as well. If it all goes away for lead pack on the final few laps, the 9 and the 97 still have a chance. But Zellner runs away that time by him. Now a 3/10 of a second advantage with 3 laps remaining. And just like that, lap machines entering your frame. Brad Kress, he'll be going 1 lap down if they get to him this time by. So would Morrissey and Brooks, as they both are going to be battling up in front of your leaders. Zellner has to pick a line and pick it quick. He's got multiple lap machines right in front. Does not want to get involved. It's going to be Kenny Brooks who's going to be sliding side by side with Zellner as they go 2 laps to go here in Fontana. Ken LeCoeur finds himself in second, and Chad Winstead makes his way in third. Now we've got ourselves 4 more miles this season to crown a winner again and crown a champion. Scott Zellner, looking for a second win this season, has battled them all night long and now finds himself out in front. He's been especially solid since his return to racing. Got a win in the playoffs as one of the big spoilers, and now looks to spoil the championship race and take home a slice of the joy as the overall race winner. He's got a shot to make it happen. He's just got to work his way through for one final time this season. The final lap in the Services and Supply season finale is here and now, and it is Zellner on his way. Now Ken LeCoeur going to be there in second. Zellner's got a good shot to take it home from this point onward. He's good to keep it going. On the throttle, he's got his teammate right in front. Scott Zellner now in a safe spot to come home with a championship win. And no other place for him to get it done. I believe the race win. My apologies. The championship win will not be his. A bit of a slip up from my end, but no slip ups for Scott Zellner. He has been flawless all night long. And on strategy, the number 2 of Scott Zellner wins the season finale and comes from a winner again for the second time as Alan Kuhlman crosses the checker flag and wins the season 15 championship here in the Highline Racing League. Getting it done in the Services and Supply season finale. The number 8 keeps himself in mind, and he trusted himself all the way. Pit road entry unlike any other, and the number 8, as fireworks erupt, comes home a winner again. Third win, and this one's as big as it can get. Kuhlman, a champion. Scott Zellner, a winner, and both drivers phenomenal runs all night long. And as it becomes 11 o'clock on the eastern seaboard, Auto Club is now from dawn to dusk again, and the nighttime sky will be illuminated by the fireworks that erupt for your championship winner in Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman and Zellner burning it down together. Kuhlman rolling up to the scene as Scott Zellner celebrates this one, and now Kuhlman gets all the burnout as well. Let's watch this one uninterrupted. And two of the best in this league come home as victors in their own right. Scott Zellner, his second win of the season. He puts it down on pit road. And Alan Kuhlman continues to celebrate. A champion, the number 8 is, and an unprecedented run. He made it stick when it mattered the most. And that is the way a champion drives. Kuhlman still celebrating this one. And inside the cockpit, I'm sure he's as happy as he's ever been in this league. And working his way back into the infield grass, waiting for a chance in victory lane, the number 8 puts it there as the number 2 shares the spotlight. A winner and a champion, both drivers, some of the most celebrated in this league, on top. Once again, they'll be side by side in the infield victory lane as we bring you your race results from tonight's event. A phenomenal finish. These drivers put their hearts on their sleeves and ran all the way with all that they had. And at the end of the day, the number 2 machine with their second win of the season comes home a winner again. It's Scott Zellner who gets it done over Ken LeCoeur by half a second. And Chad Winstead right there in third. Going to be finishing just ahead of DJ Stagner. 2 seconds back. Your Pulsitter finishes in fourth. Then going to be Alan Kuhlman, your champion, in fifth. And then Scott Wheeler in sixth. And James McKee in seventh. Your top 3 in the championship battle came home 5th, 6th, and 7th respectively, with Terry Brooks 8th and Corey Blevins in 9th. Roberto Ramirez round out the top 10 tonight from 19th on the grid. A hard charge for him as the number 99 machine comes home in 11th. Tyler Rush 12th. Adam Bozzi going to be in 13th, and Caleb Morrissey 14th, with Kenny Brooks there in 16th. 1 lap down. Final man on your lead lap is Brad Crest. Dylan Clark going to be there in 18th. Dylan Petit 17th as we look back up. Dylan Petit, the final man, 1 lap down, and your retirees go as follows. Going to be the number 5 machine, 20 laps down, and Dylan Clark 18th. Andrew Baker 37 down in 19th. Ty Smith 73 laps down in 20th. And finally, Connor Holden 85 laps down there in 21st. And how about that? Your championship winner off of the circuit, but your race winner still there in frame. I'm not quite sure who we should get in first. Checking through, we may as well get a word for the man who got it done overall. Your championship winner, outlasting everything and everyone all night long, Alan Kuhlman comes home a champion here in the Highline Racing League. Exactly the race he needed to have to get it done. And the number 8 is out on top. Season 15 ends in a wild championship race. And Alan Kuhlman, you come home as the championship winner in Season 15. Everything on the line in that final run, and you made it work when it counted. How about this season for the number 8?
Man, I'll tell you what, if you told me that going into this season I would win Darlington and Pocono and leave here with a championship, I probably would have told you were crazy. But hell of a season. I'm really excited to finally get one here on iRacing. You know, I've gotten a couple in the past, back in the console days. I did win the Dev Series Championship a couple seasons ago, so glad to finally get one in Premier here on iRacing.
And with the top talents here in this league able to be the best of the best, and tonight execution was flawless. That number 18, well, it was not the one up front. The number 8 was, and it was on rails. I'll tell you what, that final pit stop for me seemed like the move of the race. That dive into pit road, all the confidence in making that work, and you got the lead with what appeared to be the second fastest pit road time of the entire night. I don't know if it was like that for you, but for me here, that seemed to be the move that won you the championship.
Yeah, definitely. I practiced pit road entry because I figured at some point we were going to have a green flag stop, and I don't know how far back I was from Jimmy and Wheeler at the time, but I knew that, you know, once I got up beside both of them, I think we were 3 wide going down pit road, that I had a pretty good entry, and I just knew that if I could, you know, win the battle between the 3 of us off pit road, you know, I'd have a shot at it at least. And it all worked out for us.
And it all works out at the end of the night. Season 15 champion, Alan Kuhlman. And just like that, another great season in the books for the number 8, winning here with the playoff format, returning with these next gens. Now, season 16 looks like it's going to be a bit different from this one. We've got, I believe, the Gen 4s in mind. High horsepower, high stakes racing. What's it going to take for the number 8 machine to return to victory lane with a much different formula back in play?
Just a lot more seat time in that car. I haven't ran it much since it was brought onto the service. So that's really all it's going to take. I guess it sounds like that's the way we're headed next season. So we'll see. We'll be prepared and see if we can, I don't know, maybe do it again.
And now, looking to be a defending champion next season, Alan Kuhlman, 5th place here in the services and supplies season finale, and the champion of season 15. So, Alan, any final thoughts? Anyone else out there you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just want to thank you for putting this on every week for us, for the broadcast and everything. And just want to thank Toby and Kendall for putting this on, all the time. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that not a lot of people get to see, and everybody for showing up every week. I'd like to thank the other 3 that were in the Final 4 with me. Everybody raced clean and respectfully. And my teammates, Kendall, he's been our crew chief most of these races. So, well worked together, and I'm looking forward to next season.
And there we have it. Alan Kuhlman comes home a champion this season in the Highline Racing League with a clutch performance here in Fontana. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Alan Kuhlman going to be back on his way. And Scott Zellner tonight came home as your race winner. A great run for that number 2 machine. And Zellner is going to make his way to the broadcast booth right about now. What a win this was. Zellner back in victory lane for the 2nd time this season. And a phenomenal battle out in front. And for the 2nd time in the playoffs, you're a spoiler once again, winning it here in Auto Club. How was it out in front all night long?
Yeah, everything was really controlled by the draft, so I knew when I got out front it was going to be hard to gap some people. I think at one point I had like a 0.6 of a second lead, but they closed it up real quick. But man, that was fun. That was a lot of back and forth because of the draft. I kind of didn't show my hand till at the very end. At the end I started shifting and going to the bottom, and it seemed like that caught Kendall and Chad off guard a little bit. So, that was a real good way to end the season. It's a pretty awesome season. I wish I would have made the playoffs, obviously, but we'll bring it back next season.
And bring it back next season, of course, the game plan. But tonight it seemed to all roll very well, and it looks like, actually, according to our statistics, a 3-way tie for the most laps led with 22 apiece, and you were one of those drivers. Seems like you were up front all night long. What was the big piece of the strategy that held it together for a victory here in Auto Club?
Well, to be honest with you, it was a mix-up on my strategy. I actually came out of the pits with 1 lap short of fuel. So, I know I tried to be one of the first people on pit road to get the fresh tires. It seemed like everybody else followed me, but they were all in the draft, obviously. So, they were allowed to get their fuel save before I could. So I kind of let Kendall by there towards the end and kind of followed him for a little bit. I was a little nervous because he was getting the draft off of Caleb. So I was kind of, not just sucking right up to him. But, honestly, the strategy turned out to be a little bit of a mix-up, but sometimes things just fall your way.
And falling your way in the season finale, a great way to get it done all the same. Now, season 16 coming next up, and of course, a part-time run this season. What's the game plan for the number 2, as it looks like the Gen 4s might be the way we go after 2 successful seasons here with the Next Gens?
It's the same as always. It's to win as many races as possible. These wins are just so hard to come by in this league, but thankfully, I think that's 13 for me now. It's a real good accomplishment, and I just want to keep it rolling. These are a really good group of guys, especially the core that we have. Everybody's pretty respectful. Everybody's fast. I'm looking forward to the Gen 4. Not sure when we're going to get going for season 16, but we'll be ready over at Four Horsemen. Congratulations to Alan. Don't want to leave without saying that. That was a good championship run. Bummed that Wheeler didn't win it, but he and Jimmy kind of got put behind a little bit with some strategy trying to save But yeah, we're looking forward to the Gen 4, and we're gonna go out there and try to win as many races as possible.
Chasing the checkered flag next season, and this season ending it off with a checkered flag as well. Scott Zellner win to the number 2 machine as we say hello to another season in just a few. I'm not quite sure when's time, but nonetheless, Zellner on top. Any final thoughts they must like to think?
Yeah, thanks for everybody for showing up this season. It was a good season. Thanks to Kendall and Toby for putting the league on. ASC Service and Supplies coming on as a title sponsor. It was really clutch on their part. Thanks to everybody at Four Horsemen, Caleb and Scott. It's an awesome pleasure to run with those guys. And once again, congrats to Alan. Deserved the championship. And we're coming for him next time.
And there we have it, Scott Zellner returning to the racing scene with 2 wins here in the playoffs, looking for another shot at a title next season. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
And there we have it, Zellner going to be back on his way as we leave that number 2. It's up to the number 21. Kendall Kerr coming home in the 2nd spot here tonight in a hard-fought battle for that victory. The number 21 running very strong all night long. How do you feel after the season finale here in Fontana?
Just ready to move on to whatever the next car is that we end up running. I hope it ends up being Gen 4s, but man, this thing just does not agree with me. Felt good tonight, but just didn't have enough for the best all time in Highline and Scott Zellner.
A solid run with a fierce battle nonetheless. One of the drivers up front throughout the entirety of this race just slipped away at the very end. How was it battling up there? The stakes were high, but for the most part, we saw some very clean racing.
Yeah, it was a blast. Seriously, it was so fun out there all night. It felt like a slow motion dirt track out there. And in the back of your mind, of course, the most important thing with a scenario like tonight is you're not wanting to interfere with the championship battle, which fortunately, the race didn't have anything to do with that. But I know when there was that net code between me and the 13 early in the race, I was just paranoid somebody was going to get taken out with that. And I'm not 100% sure what happened with the 18 and the 5, but I'm sure the competition committee will have a look at that too. Just hate to see any of those final 4 get taken out.
And it looks like the drivers up in front able to avoid it for the most part. And it seems like despite all the championship implications, the number 21 driving very well on its own. Now, season 15, yet another phenomenal one here in the Highline Racing League. What do you think the plans will be for you and the entirety of the league as we head to season 16 very soon, hopefully?
Well, yeah, I've got quite a few people to thank. For those of you that don't know, Toby Wedgwood runs this thing, and I've kind of been his right-hand man since his kids have been starting to grow up, and I know he's at a baseball tournament tonight. So first and foremost, definitely want to congratulate Alan Kunman on a hard-fought championship and all the Final 4. But I know Alan, he lost a championship by 2 points a few seasons back, so I know this will mean a lot to him. And very well deserved champion. Definitely want to send congratulations to Scott Zellner on a clean, hard fought victory. That was a lot of fun, and he's the best for a reason. I want to thank the Brooks family and everybody at ASC Services and Supplies for their sponsorship this season. We could not do it without those guys, and it really means a lot that they're willing to pour their family's hard-earned money into something like what we've got going on here. And last but not least, I definitely want to thank you for broadcasting every week. This league wouldn't be what it is without the folks behind Fireball Talks NASCAR, including yourself, David. So definitely been a great season. I think this will probably be the longest season we'll ever have with Highline Racing League, just going 17 races with the playoffs and everything. We'll send out a Google form, have all the drivers fill it out with, what they want to do for next season. I think it'll be Gen 4s. I'm hoping it'll be Gen 4s myself. I think there's a good chance it'll be closer to 13 races, and we'll probably get it kicked off sometime right around school starting, August or so, and we'll be, preseason before that.
And there we have it, a lot of information right there from one of the best to do it tonight, Kendall Curtis, second spot. And I think you gave us all your thanks for this one. Great to have you once again. With that being said, any final thoughts here in Season 15?
No, just thanks to all the competitors for coming out each week. You know, we get to take a break from the real world and pretend we're race car drivers, and it's so much more fun racing in a league with guys like this than it is, you know, just popping on officials or anything every week. So just thanks to everybody for keeping the Highline Racing League going. So thank you, David, and I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Kendall Kerr, one of the guys running this show and running the drivers, running the battle all night long. Second spot here in the Services and Supply season finale. Thank you for your time. And Kendall Kerr going to be on his way. That number 21 machine on the move. We got your final man in the podium here tonight. The number 34 of Chad Winstead. And he comes home with yet another podium position. Chad Winstead, third spot here in the Services and Supply season finale. How you feeling after this run?
Oh, I mean, it was fun battling up there for the win. It's just kind of disappointing because I felt like I should have been in the final four, and that would have been a championship for me tonight, finishing higher than Alan and all them. So, you know, mixed emotions about it, I guess.
And a very hard-fought battle up there looking for that first win. Yet another strong run. Oh, so close to that potential checkered flag. What was the big piece of the puzzle for you? You felt that changed the course of the race. A lot of drivers had a strategy in mind. It looks like that changed who was up front and who was not.
Yeah, I think early on I just kind of stuck to my usual strategy of trying to save a little bit in the tank on the first part of the run, save a little bit of tire and whatnot. And I just felt like I was pretty quick at this track, and you know, was able to get up there behind Zellner right before the green flag pit stops. And as soon as he was coming, I knew I had to follow him in to stay with him, and sticking to his draft when we came back out of the pits. I think I was a second behind him, but I was able to catch up to his draft and just kind of coast and save a little bit for that final run. Just couldn't quite get it done there.
And oh, so close on this run. Fierce competition up front, nonetheless, always consistent in this number 34. Now, we do expect to see some changes in the format of how this league works. Season 16, we're expecting a car change and maybe a bit more than that. What's it going to take to return to victory lane for this 34 operation as we head to Season 16 sometime soon?
Yeah, just keep running my race, I think. You know, I've been so close so many times the last two seasons in this car. So, you know, Bristol a couple weeks ago, I would have punched my ticket to the 4 and missed it by a few feet. And then tonight, you know, it's just, there's probably been 4 or 5 races that I felt like I kind of either gave away or had a really good shot at winning. So if I can just stay that consistent throughout a season and not get caught up in some of the early season mess, you know, hopefully I'll have a good shot at a championship, whether we run the Gen 4s or whatever car we run. I feel like, I'll have a decent shot at it if I can just stay consistent again.
And consistency is key for the number 34, Chad Winstead. Yet another podium to round out the season here in the Services and Supply season finale. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
No, thank you for putting this broadcast on, Kendall and Toby, all you guys for hosting this league. I'm looking forward to whatever comes next, and thanks to the friends and family out there that watch it every Thursday night and support us. And you know, just I really enjoy this group of guys and racing with them. We have a lot of fun. As you saw tonight, it was a really clean and good 3-car battle for the win, you know, for most of the last part of the race. And I've had a lot of those this year, but also, you know, some unfortunate luck and getting caught up in some other people's mess and stuff. But either way, even when that happens, it's all in good fun. And I just want to say thank you to you guys and everybody out there for racing as clean as they can. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm looking forward to whatever comes next.
And there we have it. Looking forward to what's next here. The number 34, Chad Winstead, as always, a fierce competitor, comes home third here at Auto Club in the Services and Supply season finale to round out season 15. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, buddy. We'll see you in a few months.
And there we have it. Winstead going to be on his way. The 34 comes home in third. Scott Zellner makes himself a winner as Alan Kuhlman comes home for the season 15 championship. A phenomenal drive for every driver this season, and we're going to thank them all for their support coming out week after week here in this league. 17 great races and one great conclusion. It's always a pleasure to have these drivers on Thursday nights, and we hope to return very soon to the Highline Racing League for season 16. As always, for all our broadcasts here in the Premier Series, I've been your host, David Kreutz. Great to have you as always, and we hope that you've enjoyed our presentation for this season as we continue our partnership with the Highline Racing League. Thank y'all for your time. We hope you enjoyed this one from our studios to your homes. We hope you will tune in once again on FTN. Thank you as always for your support.